Hi, and welcome to the classes of Vedic astrology. So, I am taking plenty of classes about various concepts, about various techniques, about various topics in the world of Vedic astrology. So, my objective is that through this classes, whatever I am teaching, whatever I am sharing in this YouTube channel of mine, I want to make everyone aware about what is the correct Vedic astrology, what is the accurate understanding about the various concepts that normally you will come across, like from like through your online search. And what I want to do is I want to give you all the detailed learning of all of those concepts and even much more. So, if any one of you who is willing to understand and know about the concepts of Vedic astrology in an accurate way, in a correct way, then this particular YouTube channel will help you to acquire that knowledge. And also, the most important objective of me to do all of these videos is to make all of you a very sound practitioner, a very skilled practitioner of Vedic astrology. So if you are seeing my classes and if you are practicing whatever I am sharing through all of these classes, then you yourself will be able to do a lot of positive, optimistic difference in your life through the learnings that you will be acquiring or that you are currently acquiring. And through this acquired knowledge of yours that is about Vedic astrology, you will also be having the ability to transform other people's life because of these particular skill sets that you are getting to know, that you are learning in this particular YouTube channel through all of these Vedic astrology classes. All right, so today we will be learning about a concept, about a topic in Vedic astrology which is not considered to be auspicious. So we will be learning about a dosh, right? Which is again not auspicious whenever we come to an understanding about analyzing or interpreting a horoscope. So this particular dosh is known as Vish dosh. Vish dosh. Vish means poison. All right. Vish is a Hindi word, and its English translation is poison. Right. So some people say it's a Vish yoga, but it is a dosh again. See, a yoga means it is beneficial in nature, so that's why we use the term yoga. Like it is Buddha Aditya yoga, Gaj Kesari yoga, Chandra Lakshmi yoga. So all of these are auspicious yoga, right? Viprit Raj yoga, then Nij Bhang Raj yoga. So there is always the word yoga associated with yuktis, conjunctions, or certain characteristics or certain formation in a particular lagna chart that are very auspicious by nature. Then only we attach the word yoga with those things. But whenever it is a dosh, so the same thing becomes inauspicious. Like today we will be discussing about Vish dosh. See, poison is just, I'm telling you the word poison so that you will be able to understand what is the English word or what is the English meaning of that Vish word. But in Vedic astrology, it is known as Vish Dosh, all right, or Vish Yoga, because the same thing, this particular dosh can also, act as a yoga in a particular horoscope chart, but that again depends on certain conditions. As I think I had discussed about certain Rashi Parivartan Yoga, right? So whenever a Rashi Parivartan Yoga is forming a Dainya Yoga, right? I had discussed about this particular concept of Rashi Parivartan Yoga in details. So whenever a Dainya Yoga is forming, so we cannot call yoga, because then we are understanding that Rashi Parivartan, when it is forming under such certain conditions, the results will be inauspicious by nature. So then that will be a dosh. All right. So let's understand what is a Vish dosh or what is a Vish yoga. So this particular thing occurs, forms when there is a conjunction yukti of two planets, that is Saturn and Moon. So whenever Saturn and Moon, both of these two planets are sitting in one particular house of a Lagna chart, then this particular Vish dosh, or in certain situations a Vish yoga is formed. So we are, even though it is Vish poison, but that poison has the abilities to dissolve negative things, means it will bring positive things into the person's life. So a poison is killing negative things. So then that particular thing becomes a yoga, and we say it is a Vish yoga. But when that poison is killing positive things, and because of that it is bringing negativity in that particular person's life, then we say it is a Vish yoga. Then that poison is harming that same individual, like in Vedic astrological concepts. But if that poison is can be used to kill the negativity of the surroundings, means all the negative aspects are getting obstructed, are getting removed because of this two particular conjunction of these two planets, Saturn and Moon, then we can say it is a yoga, Vish yoga. So in order to understand whether this Saturn Moon conjunction will form a dosh or will form a yoga, we have to look at Saturn and planet Moon, both we have to look at individually. So first, if either of one of these planets is either of these planets, that is either Saturn or Moon, is Maraka, then this will become a dosh. If both of the planets are Maraka, that is both Saturn and Moon are Maraka in an individual's horoscope or Lagna chart, then this will be a proper dosh, all right. But if both Saturn and Moon are Yoga Karka and both are getting conjuncted or both are forming a yukti in one particular house, then that combination can also bring good results. Probability will be that condition will bring good results also. So many practitioners of astrology, they say that just because Moon and Saturn are sitting together in one particular house, it is bad. No, it is, see, I had just explained to you that even if Moon and Saturn are conjuncting, they are forming a yukti, under certain situations a yoga can also form. That's, I just said, it's a Vish yoga. But again, a dosh will only be formed when either of these two planets are Maraka or both of these planets are Maraka. But one thing we need to understand before I just discuss with you this particular concept through a Lagna chart example. one thing that is for sure it's going to happen whenever Moon and Saturn combine is there will be some sort of mental disturbance in that individual's life. Whenever Moon and Saturn combines, we have to understand the nature of both of these two planets are completely opposite, and these two planets are also incompatible by nature. So that's the reason why there will be certain common symptoms that will happen in every situation, whether both of the planets are Yogakarka or Maraka. So even if both of the planets are Yogakarka in that individual's Lagna chart, means both Moon and Saturn are Yogakaraka and auspicious. But if these two planets are sitting in one particular house, there will be even not that much, because if both are very Yogakaraka planets, but certain mental issues, mental problems, certain anxieties, certain tensions will be there in that individual, and that individual will face these things frequently. It might not be that much on an intensity, might not be that much to worry about, because if an individual wants, he or she can easily nullify this mental health issues, which are not serious issues, but certain things might still happen, because again I said Moon is a very fast moving planet and Saturn is a very slow moving planet. So here there will be some sort of an imbalance between the body and the mind. So because of that, certain mental issues might arise whenever Moon and Saturn they sit in one particular house. Now the same mental issue will be on a very extreme level, will be quite disturbing by nature if both Moon and Saturn are Maraka. If both Moon and Saturn are Maraka and this particular Vish is forming a proper Dosh, then there will be both issues. There will be issues related to the mind, and there will also be issues related to the physical body. And issues related to the physical body will basically be caused because of a imbalanced mind. So this is what it is seen whenever negative Moon and negative Saturn in an individual's horoscope chart, they combine and they sit together in one particular house. These are very common symptoms, right? In order to understand specific symptoms, we have to analyze that particular horoscope or Lagna chart in details. Then only we will be able to understand that this particular combination, how it is going to affect, in which areas of that particular individual it's going to affect, despite of the common factors that it's going to create mental problems, but how that mental problems will affect that individual's overall life, professional, personal, etc., that we have to understand by analyzing and interpreting the horoscope. Now let's look at an example Lagna chart, and today I will be using Gemini Lagna so that you will be able to understand this particular combination and how it affects that individual's life, and how that particular combination, that is Moon and Saturn, is becoming negative or it is becoming positive. So in the Gemini Lagna, we have to understand Moon is Maraka, alright, because Moon is the lord of the second house, and whenever the lord of the second house is an enemy of the Lagnesh, the lord of the second house will be Maraka. So here Moon becomes Maraka because Moon, Cancer, is ruling the second house of Gemini Lagna. Saturn is Yogakarka in this particular horoscope. It is still a Samgraha, but you can put it in the Yogakarka column only, because Saturn is ruling one Kendra house and one bad house, that is the 8th house. So, no, I'm so sorry. So, I'm extremely sorry. Saturn is ruling the 8th house and the 9th house. So, Saturn is completely Yogakarka. It's not a Samgraha. because Saturn is ruling a Trikona house, that is the ninth house, because the ninth house is being ruled by Aquarius in Gemini Lagna, and Saturn is ruling one particular bad house, that is the eighth house, that is being ruled by Capricorn. But Saturn is Yoga Karka. So Moon is Maraka and Saturn is Yoga Karka. All right. So now let's understand the combination of Moon and Saturn in all the houses of Gemini Lagna. If Moon and Saturn are sitting in the first house of Gemini Lagna, so here Saturn is Yoga Karka, Moon is Maraka. So here there will be a Vish Dosh. If Moon and Saturn are sitting in the second house, so Moon, whenever, see, you have to understand, even Moon is by default Maraka in this particular horoscope. But whenever Moon sits in its own sign, that is the sign of Cancer, Moon will not create problems related to that particular house. So here Moon, the overall results of Moon will be average, even though Moon is Maraka, but Moon getting placed in the second house of Gemini Lagna, the overall results is going to be quite average by nature. It will not be completely Maraka. And Saturn is Yoga Karka. So in this particular aspect, we can say that the effects of Vish Dosh will be somewhat neutral by nature. It will not be completely Maraka. It will be somewhat, it will create a disturbance, but it will not be, it will not give Yoga Karka effects. It will give neutral effects. Sometimes it might give good effects. Sometimes it might give bad effects. So if Moon and Saturn are sitting in the third house of Gemini Lagna, so here also a Vish Dosh will be happening. Not a complete with Vish Dosh, because here Saturn is still a Yoga Karka, but somewhat of a Vish Dosh will be happening. Same whatever it was happening in the first house, quite the same results will be seen in the third house also, like the nature of Dosh, the Vish Dosh. If Moon and Saturn are sitting in the fourth house of Gemini Lagna, so here Moon is Maraka, Saturn is Yoga Karka, but again here, because Moon is Maraka, here again a Vish Dosh will be happening. If Saturn and Moon are sitting in the fifth house of Gemini Lagna, then also a Vish Dosh will be happening, because again Moon is Maraka sitting in the fifth house. All right. But Saturn will still be getting exalted in the sign of Libra. So Saturn individually will try to give good results, but Moon will create problems over here. If Moon and Saturn are sitting in the sixth house of Gemini Lagna, so here Moon is getting debilitated, that is first, because Moon gets debilitated in the sign of Scorpio. Moon is also sitting in a bad house, sixth house. So the placement of Moon is very, very bad. And Saturn also will not function properly because it is placed in the sixth house. So a very bad or a very proper Vish Dosh will be happening in this particular house. The dosh will somewhat be minimized if Moon is having a niche bhang if there is a cancellation of debilitation for Moon, and Saturn here is having a Viparit Raj Yoga also, because Saturn is the lord of the eighth house, and if Saturn sits in either of the sixth house or the eighth house or the 12th house, there is a Viparit Raj Yoga for Saturn. But for that, Mercury needs to be well placed. All right. But still, if Moon is debilitated and Moon is getting placed in the sign of Scorpio, Moon is sitting in the 6th house. Placement of Saturn is also not considered good in the 6th house. So here there will be a Vish Dosh definitely forming. Alright, especially the problem will be given by Moon. Again, I'm saying the problem will be minimized only if Moon is having a Neech Bhang Raj Yog. Then this particular house, the effects of Vish Dosh will be a lot minimized, because then Saturn will form Viprit Raj Yoga, Moon will form a Neech Bhang Raj Yoga. So individually, Moon and Saturn will give good effects during its Mahadasha and Antardasha if Moon and Saturn both are having Raj Yogas. Saturn definitely has a Raj Yoga, but we need to see whether Neech Bhang is happening for Moon or not. Otherwise, Moon will give a lot of bad effects. And one more thing I want to tell you, not related to Vish Dosh, but in general, whenever Saturn is placed in the 6th house or in the 8th house or in the 12th house, it is not considered good, because any planets getting placed in bad houses is not considered that great until and unless a Yoga Karka planet is sitting in a bad house and it is getting combusted by Sun, or that Yoga Karka planet is forming certain Raj Yogas and the Lagnesh is well placed. Under certain situations, yes, planets being placed in bad houses might also give probabilities, they also might give good effects. But what I was saying is, whenever Saturn is placed in bad houses, 6th house or the 8th house or the 12th house, it's seen that the willpower of that individual is very high. That individual has a lot of mental strength. Like similarly, when Moon gets placed in bad houses, we see there is a lot of issues related to mental strength of the mind, until and unless there is, especially when Moon is placed in the 6th house, all right, or also in the 12th house, because 12th house also creates a lot of sleeping problems if in case Moon is badly placed in the 12th house. So under such situations, like Moon will create mental problems, right? Until and unless Moon has certain kind of yogas, certain conditions where Moon will be giving good effects. But when Saturn is placed, even if it is a Maraka Saturn or even if it is a Yoga Karka Saturn, when Saturn is placed in bad houses, it's seen that the willpower of that particular individual is very high. So even if Saturn is Maraka, that individual will definitely have a lot of struggles, lot of delays, lot of problems in their life. Like frequently that individual will face a lot of challenges. But because of that individual's willpower and mental strength, that individual will always find that he or she will be having the energy to fight, right? Fight situations, not give up. So that will be seen in such individuals. So coming back again to the topic of Vish Dosh or a Vish Yoga. If Moon and Saturn are getting conjunct in the 7th house of Gemini Lagna, so here Saturn is Yoga Karka, but Moon here is Maraka. So again a Vish Dosh will be happening. If Moon and Saturn are placed in the 8th house, so here Moon is badly placed. Getting placed in the 8th house is not great for Moon. And so here also a Vish Dosh will be happening. Even though Saturn individually has the probability of giving good results during its dashas, because Saturn has Viprit Raj Yoga and Saturn is also Yoga Karka for this particular Lagna chart. Saturn and Moon getting placed in the 9th house. So here Saturn is very well placed. Saturn is very well placed here. whenever we say Saturn is very well placed, individual might still see a lot of struggle and hurdles, but results will definitely come if the individual gives good efforts, sincere efforts, because Saturn is all about your karma. So the more honest and the more pure your karma is, and if Saturn is a yoga karka in your horoscope, after a certain period of time, you will enjoy a lot of success. But for that, you have to keep on giving your best, honest, and pure efforts towards your pursuits in life. So here Saturn is Yoga Karka, Moon is Maraka getting placed in the ninth house. So Vish Dosh will be there because Moon is going to create problems because Moon is Maraka. If Moon and Saturn are getting placed in the 10th house, so here Saturn is Yoga Karka, Moon is Maraka, so Vish Dosh will be happening because again Moon will give bad effects. If Saturn and Moon are sitting in the 11th house of a Gemini Lagna, here Saturn is getting debilitated. Moon placement, Moon is also Maraka. Alright, so here also a proper Vish Dosh will be happening. So if I want to tell you in this particular Lagna chart, if Saturn and Moon are sitting in the 11th house of Gemini Lagna, this is considered to be the most bad placement or the most bad condition for Vish Dosh to happen in this particular Lagna chart. Because in the 11th house, both Saturn and Moon are getting Maraka. Saturn is getting debilitated, that is also very not good at all. Moon is also Maraka. So here a proper, the worst Vish Dosh for this particular Lagna chart or the worst results of Vish Dosh in this particular Lagna chart will be seen happening if Moon and Saturn are placed in the 11th house. If Moon and Saturn are placed in the 12th house, then also Vish Dosh will be happening because even though Saturn is having Vipreet Raj Yoga, but placement of Moon is not that great, is bad actually, getting placed in the 12th house. So here also Vish Dosh will be happening. So this is how you need to understand about how Vish Dosh needs to be analyzed, needs to be interpreted in a particular Lagna chart. We have to see both Moon and Saturn individually. Then we will be able to understand whether the combination will give good results or bad results or average results. All right. So this was all about the class of Yukti of Moon and Saturn, conjunction of Moon and Saturn in Vedic astrology. And that was all what I wanted to discuss in this particular topic. I have discussed in detail. I have shared with you the proper process, how you will, that is how you need to understand, how you need to analyze and interpret a Vish Dosh or a Vish Yoga in a particular horoscope chart. So again, in every video I keep on saying the same thing. Please watch all of my classes again and again. Practice these classes so that in every topic you will have a sound understanding about Vedic astrology. And essentially, if you want to become a practitioner, if you want to become a very proper, excellent practitioner of Vedic astrology, you need to practice my classes. You have to watch my classes, my videos over and over again, because if you have any small doubts, you have to watch my video again. Until and unless you are reaching a stage where you are confident in that particular topic, then you move to the next class. And this is how you need to proceed in my Vedic astrology course. or my Vedic astrology classes, whatever I am sharing in my Living Virtuously YouTube channel. And before you go, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's a request. Watch my videos, like my videos, share my videos. And if you have any doubt, any query, any question related to the topics of Vedic astrology, please share them in the comment section, and I will definitely try my level best to answer your queries. I'll see you in the next class. Thank you.